When I first wore the Adidas Copa Pure 3 Pro TF, my immediate impression was that the shoe felt very narrow. The upper of the Copa Pure 3 Pro TF is made of fusion skin synthetic leather. The overall feel of the upper was thick yet soft. When I tried it on, I didn't notice a significant difference compared to the fusion skin upper used in the elite version of the Copa Pure. Despite no special texturing applied to the surface, I could still feel a slight amount of grip. The last shape of this turf model felt identical to its predecessor, the Copa Pure 2 Elite TF. Personally, the last was the most disappointing part of the previous model, so I was disappointed that it remained unchanged. For reference, the previous Copa Pure 2 Elite TF transitioned into the Copa Pure 3 Pro TF without major spec changes, but with a lower price and a downgrade in its model tier. With the updated upper design, the pressure on the top of the toe box disappeared, but the narrowness remained a big issue. I experienced persistent numbness around the ball of my foot throughout wear. My foot felt compressed inward, causing the soles to feel slightly lifted off the ground, and the pain didn't go away easily. If you don't have a naturally narrow foot, you may find this pair quite uncomfortable. The instep features a one-piece tongue construction with prime knit material. It's stretched enough to allow easy wear and removal. But the prime knit's weak elasticity resulted in poor lockdown and insufficient ankle support, which was disappointing. The heel uses an internal heel counter. Among recently released turf shoes, the heel here felt softer and more flexible, with some cushioning inside. However, the heel liner material felt a bit slippery at first glance, and when wearing the shoe, I could indeed feel some minor heel slippage. The Ortholite insole provided was relatively thick and delivered noticeable cushioning, but the top surface of the insole felt somewhat slippery. The midsole features Adidas's Lightstrike Pro Foam. Upon testing, it felt more firm than plush. Unlike many recent Adidas turf shoes with Lightstrike midsoles, which tend to feel quite high off the ground, this model didn't give off that elevated sensation. The outsole is made of rubber, flexible but not particularly rigid. I tested these on an artificial turf pitch, and the rounded studs offered excellent traction. I believe this shoe can be worn comfortably across most artificial turf fields without significant slipping issues. The impact feeling during kicking and shooting was quite good. I didn't notice much power loss, and the thick, soft fusion skin upper provided a satisfying kick sensation. That said, it didn't strike me as a boot optimized for powerful shooting. When passing, the touch felt more like the ball bounced off the upper rather than being absorbed, which was a bit unexpected, but overall, I was satisfied. I would say that the touch quality provided by the fusion skin upper is the biggest strength of this model. During dribbling, despite initial concerns, the boots didn't feel heavy. Thanks to good traction, quick direction changes were possible without slipping. This pair seems more suited for close ball control rather than speedy dribbling. For reference, the reviewer who tested the shoes has a foot length of 10.55 inches and a foot width of 3.94 inches. He usually wears Nike US 9.5 and Adidas and Puma US 9. During this test, he wore a US 9 size. The front of the shoe felt slightly roomy in terms of length, but the width was extremely narrow. Among recent turf shoes he's worn, these had the narrowest fit. I highly recommend trying them on in store before purchasing. Finally, here's a one-line summary from All That Boots reviewer, who personally tested the shoes, hopefully. It will help you make a successful boot purchase.